Good morning. Again, my name is Eric Mitchell. I'm a Deputy Director with ABCD in Field Operations, but more importantly today I will be your MC, and I have just two responsibilities. The first one is to get you through the program, but the second one, which is almost as important, as to address the weather issue, so I'll get it out of the way. I have to make a deal with you. One weather-related comment, face, smirks, shrugs. You cannot look cold, you cannot feel cold. We have to, you get it out of your system. I took my jacket off. Having done that, my job then and my deal with you is I will be efficient. We will get through the program, we will celebrate a wonderful grand opening, but in order to do that, I can't look out in the audience and see people who look like they don't want to be here. Right? So that's the give and take. Having said that, and my deal to you is to get the program started, and so I want to welcome to the podium the ABCD President and CEO, Mr. John Drew.
Thank you, Eric. We're trying to get a day with sunshine, and I just feel like the sun is out there. I don't have any prepared remarks because people gave me prepared remarks, and I'm going to leave that to somebody else. I just want to say that, as a former head start parent, Cathedral, we get your cloak or something.
On the coat.
What a good idea. All right, everybody, I'll take you free. Fantastic. Everybody else warm? Well, first of all, the folks who have joined us today, Son Lamaki and Mayor Walsh. You know, we've got police commission, we've got senators, we've got Byron, and if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. It is a grand opening. It's for the children in the South End, Chinatown. A lot of kids here who come from homes that they don't have a lot. You know, what I want to just briefly say as I open the program is, as we are meeting here today, as Cathedral is now warm, I can take my time. There are folks in the middle of down in Washington who somehow think that Head Start has run its course. It should probably be eliminated. And I know Ken Lamarck he's told us he's going to go to the wall to make sure that it doesn't happen. But we have to remember why we have Head Start, why Head Start works. The children are nurtured. You saw a young baby in there. He's brand new to us. He can't hear. He'll be not nurtured. And we'll detect as much as we can all of the possible medical or other problems a child may have in those struggles. Anything. They'll get a lot of the nutrition, special needs. The parents are involved completely. I can't hire a teacher without parent involvement. Wouldn't that be nice in the Boston Public School? But Mayor didn't flinch with that one. But it is a jewel of a program. Across the country, 1 million children are in Head Start. Average family income is family of 4, 20,000. And 125,000 people who dedicate themselves every day across the country to provide Head Start. And then another 125,000 volunteers. So it's a jewel in the crown of a national consciousness. Every child in the country who goes to Head Start has the same experience. We're not throwing it off to states or cities or for-profits. We want to make sure we keep this jewel in the crown forever. Maybe someday we won't need it. Maybe every child will come into the world ready. Maybe their mother had nutrition. But we created the first work program here exactly because of low birth weight, exactly because children and infant mortality. So we do 0 to 5, catch them as soon as they come in, And hopefully when they leave, I'm sure they're going to thrive. And going into the Boston publishing system where I'm so glad to see the superintendent's document grades 1 to 3, more nourishment. This is the next generation. These are our babies. So thank you so much, and welcome to our grand open house. Last time it snowed, and this time the Cardinal's warm. And let me just say this, I'm going to do this again, but Madeline, thank you so much. We were kind of a noisy neighbor for quite a while. We dug up everything around here, I think that was diggable. And it took a while, but we got there. But it's through you and the church that we partner with around the city, in Roxbury, Brighton, and all over the city. Such a wonderful partnership. Same mission. I think we had the same mission. So thank you very much, and thank you all for being here.
I'm just checking. No one else is moving. I don't see any coats moving. All right. So, as a parent of a 17-month-old, I have a great respect for the work that teachers do in a classroom. It is really a gift to have quality education that you can hand your child over to. And so I'm very pleased to be able to be here today, and doubly so because I went to Catholic school in New Jersey, and it happened to be called Cathedral Grammar School. And the nuns that work with me would be very pleased to see that I had the opportunity to be here today and to introduce to you His Eminence Sean Cardinal O'Malley.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is a very happy day for all of us. About 150 years ago, we used to have a school in the basement of the cathedral. And then a little over 100 years ago, the parishioners built this fine building that ABCD has refurbished in a stellar way. And now it continues its original mission to help children. And we want to congratulate John and your wonderful team for all that you've done. We're so pleased and proud of the work that you do. And we're just here asking for God's blessing on all of the wonderful people that are working here and taking care of these children. This is a real beacon of hope in our neighborhood. And congratulations, and thank all of you for your support of ABCD.
It wouldn't be a Head Start event if we did not have gifts after every presentation, so we're going to bring it forward right now.
It's getting cold out there. In recognition of you and your substantial contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you haven't been to a Head Start event, we cherish the opportunity to say thank you, and so you will notice a common theme. When we have a chance to say thank you, we will pause and we will show that it really does mean more than just come and shake hands. And so I want to move the program forward as I promised and bring forward to speak with us our hardworking and obviously very busy Senator Markey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank everybody for being here today. ABCD is the poverty agency, not just for Boston, but for my hometown of Malden, where I live. You have a facility that's just 4 blocks from my house in Malden, and the work which you do is absolutely incredible. Children are 25% of our population, but they are 100% of our future. And we have to continue to ensure that there is a democratization of access to opportunity through education and through healthcare. That's what ABC does. That's what all of these programs are all about. And we thank you, Cardinal, for being here. In a lot of ways, ABCD really is the embodiment of the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the poor, blessed are the sick, blessed are the warm. In each instance, there is a federal program. We call it Medicare, we call it Medicaid, we call it LIHEAP, we call it Head Start. But in each instance, there is a program that tries to deal with each one of the lessons that Jesus was trying to have us learn on the Sermon on the Mount. And that's what John Drew and Bob Elias and everyone who works at ABCD tries to do every single day. And in trying to determine which is the greatest anti-poverty group in the United States of America, it's as simple as ABCD. That's why we're here today. And so we are so grateful to be here today. Massachusetts, we're so proud of the commitment that we make to education. We're #1 in the country in math and verbal and science at the 4th and 8th and 10th grades. But in Boston, Head Start's a big part of that formula. Head Start makes sure that a lot of kids that otherwise would not have access to these programs are given access to the programs. And 100,000 people are served by ABCD here in Boston, and that's out of a population of about 630,000 people. So Mayor Walsh and I, you know, we talked a few months ago about the budget that Donald Trump had proposed, and 18% cut in the Health and Human Services budget, a 14% cut in the education budget, a 13% cut in the housing and urban development budget, the elimination of the community service block grant program, the elimination of the community development block grant program, and the elimination of home heating assistance. That was the budget that was introduced by the Trump administration just 2 months ago. So now, we finished the budget over the weekend, and I want to give you the good news. The Department of Health and Human Services got an increase. Yay! The Department of Education got an increase. Housing and urban development stayed the same. Community development block grants stayed the same. Community service block grants stayed the same. And LIHEAP stayed the same. Not cut. So that is what we're all about. And with community development block grants, our great mayor is able to do those projects, those special projects that the community needs in order to help those who are most in need. And I might add, because so many of the people who have families that receive this funding for their children are immigrants, there was not one nickel in the budget to build a wall across our border. And so all of that goes right to the heart of what Cathedral School was all about, as a place where immigrant families could come through and get a high quality education, and the same thing is true here today. So, so we thank you, ABCD, and we thank the Cardinal for being here, but we thank the Litany of Saints, all of the people who work here every single day, making this program such a success. We thank you, Commissioner, for what you do on a daily basis, and you, Byron. It's a great honor to be here. Today is a day where it makes it worthwhile to be down in Washington and fighting for these programs, because you can see how it will impact those children who are going to be the future of our country. But we have to give them the tools they need in order to maximize their God-given abilities. That's what we're here today to celebrate. Thank you all so much.
half my board is here. My bosses, I forgot to introduce you, I'm sorry. Also, my predecessor, Bob Claude, you probably all know Bob. Donna Claude is here, his wife. Donna?
Oh, beautiful.
Come by our aunts and residents.
4 years.
Let's hear it for a congressman. One more time. Now, I don't know about many of you, but I stayed up kind of late watching the news trying to find out what was going on with the budget, and so it was nice to get the email that said something had been resolved, and to show up in the morning and the congressman is here, able to give us good news firsthand. I give it up a little bit louder than that. That was me this morning. And so, moving right along, I don't think our next speaker needs much introduction, and so I won't go long, but to say that our hardworking partner, friend, and supporter is coming before us. I want to bring to you Mayor Martin Walsh.
Thank you, Eric, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank Colonel Sean. Senator, thank you. I met with the senator down. He talked about the budget. We actually had a conversation about a month and a half ago. I was down in his office. I was down in D.C. and I asked if I could swing by. And I went over some things I'm concerned about in the city of Boston. And he sat there and wrote a couple notes down. He didn't have to write notes down because he knows. And he said, I'm not sure what's going to happen here in this budget. I'm not sure what the administration is going to do. But I can tell you one thing. I'm going to make sure I continue to fight, which I know he would. And I want to thank him for fighting, because he's been all over the TV and all over the news, both here locally and CNN, fighting for the programs that he talked about today, fighting for our kids, fighting for our environment, fighting for our country. So, Senator, thank you very much for what you've done for us. John Drew, thank you as well, and Sharon for your great work. And we're going to hear from Mimi and Yvette in a few minutes. I want to thank you all. Commissioners here with us. I want to thank Byron Rushing, who's been doing this work for over 30 years as a legislator. I had the great honor of serving with Byron in the House of Representatives, and ABCD was one of the programs that Byron would always go to the mat for, to make sure the funding was there. And you know, certainly in his district, the South End, but he represented indirectly the whole Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So Byron, I want to thank you as well for all the things you've done for all of us. I'm not going to pretend it's not a little cold this morning, so I'm not going to. I just want to congratulate all of you. I want to congratulate Head Start. This program here is going to have nearly 200 families and children and families here. It's going to have families from South End, Chinatown, all over the city of Boston. It's an incredible resource in our city. I want to thank ABCD. If you look at the space that ABCD works in, they work in a lot of important spaces. They work in education. They work in education of all facets, from high school all the way back to early education. I want to thank them for their great work. This is an exciting day. I want to thank the Cardinal and the Catholic Church as well, because it is fitting. It's fitting here that 150 years ago, education started in the basement over here in the Cathedral, and 150 years later, it continues over here in the school. So God bless you all. Congratulations to ABCD and Head Start, and I look forward to coming out here on a warmer day to hang with the kids.
Beautiful piece of art.
Someday it'll be worth a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's priceless right now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My attempt at mind control on the weather, unsuccessful. But moving right along, I want to, obviously everyone is here and folks are really enduring, and so we certainly appreciate it. From the faces that I see, folks are mostly doing a good job, and so I will continue to be efficient. But I want to bring to the podium now a woman that many of you all certainly know very well. I know her because we started on the same day. We sat on the sofa as we waited for our Head Start interview, and so we have maintained a very close partnership since that day. So I'm always glad and fortunate when I can introduce my friend, Yvette Rodriguez, the Vice President of ABCD Head Start.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, we were sitting in the same sofa. You know why? Because we were waiting for the parents to interview us and decide if we could be employed of ABCD Head Start and Children's Services. That's the power of the parents. So all the parents that are here, welcome. And thank you for choosing us to take care of your children. I want to welcome all of you to be here. Cardinal, finally I met you. Mayor, Senator, representative, and all the parents, board members that are here with us today. Today is a very special day because Head Start is about high quality services. And usually people say high quality services. I want to tell you a little bit about what is high quality services. High quality services, the 354 meals a day that we prepare here for those children. Most of those children, this is the only meal, complete balance that they will get on a day, on a week, on their time here. So here in this program, we serve 159 preschoolers, 32 infant and toddler. Today, my heart was very touched, and that's what I'm here. That's what I am, a big advocate of early education. A little boy was crying. He's what, 6 months, 7 months? He started recently. So I thought that he's crying because he's new, and that's typical. But this child is a deaf baby. This is Head Start. Head Start is a great program for those children with physical limitation, with delayed growth. And it's so great that we could have such a great program. So I want to thank Senator for advocating for us, the Mayor, Representative Byron Russian, because if they were not here, who will take care of them? So we serve in this program, and I could tell you all Head Start, but in this program we have pregnant moms, so we start serving children since they are in the belly of the mom. And we help the mom to be healthy and be ready for that child. Infant and toddler and preschooler. ABCD has been the best host for this beautiful program. So I want to thank all of you. And this facility is a representation of high quality service. We could do great services, but if the facility is not also high quality, there's nothing to do. So I want to thank everybody who has contributed to this, Cardinal for giving us the opportunity to be here, and all the people that has worked here. But I also want to give a round of applause to all the staff. Donna Grimaldi, the program director, May Watt, and all the staff that work every single day. To work with children, you have to have passion. You have to have commitment. And all the staff do that every single day for the children. I want to recognize the people who license us. I just see them to the back. Kelly, our licensor Cheryl, our licensor Linda. So thank you, because this is a teamwork. Like I have said before, ABCD alone cannot do it. We need all of you to make a real change. So in this building, there is some construction. The future senator, the future leader, the future mayor, maybe you said something, right? But you know it's going to be a good mayor as you because they were in Head Start. Thank you all.
Very quickly, I want to acknowledge and thank Police Commissioner Bill Evans. And Yvette mentioned, but we haven't heard from him, so I want to bring to the podium State Representative Byron Russian.
Thank you very much. It is so good to be here. And don't worry about the weather. We know all of the sunshine is inside for all those young people. I just want to say a word about how important your work is and to thank you for doing this work. But I also want to say a word about geography, about this neighborhood. You know that the South End has become a rich neighborhood. But as it became a rich neighborhood, it did not push everybody else out. And that's why it is so important that this facility be right here in the South End. When I talk to the middle class and rich constituents that I have in this neighborhood, they always say, we like the South End because of its diversity. Have you heard that, Mr. Mayor, from some of my constituents? Well, I want that diversity to be real, not made up, not seen on television. And it is real in the South End, and it is real because you are here, and you all know that this is the home, this and Chinatown is the home of these children, and they should have all the opportunities that all of their neighbors have. So good to have you here. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Yes, and she just did this while I was speaking. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. We're almost done, trust me, but we definitely are not done. We're not done until we have heard from those who really appreciate what goes on here, and that's from the parents. And so I want to bring up Ashisha Rocket to give us some words.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm a parent representative for the Harrison Ave, and I'm so grateful. Like you said about the South End, I've embedded myself in the South End. I've completed the Project Place program. I actually work around the corner, so I'm all about the community. The staff is awesome. They support me through all my madness. And everybody knows me. Thank you guys, and I see so much growth in my son. And without you guys, I wouldn't be able to grow. Thank you.
Now, before we bring up our last speaker, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping and say that we're going to do our ribbon cutting right here, make it easy on folks, and there will be an opportunity for tours immediately following it. So if you're interested in the tour, stand by, but we're going to have our ribbon cutting at the most immediate door that we could possibly find. Having said that, I want to bring up our last speaker for the day, and that's going to be ABCD's Executive Vice President and COO, Sharon Scott Chandler.
Thank you. I don't know which is worse, coming last before like lunchtime or when it's cold out. So I will be brief. I think a lot of thank yous and recognitions have been said this morning, but they can't be said enough. And the leadership that we have in Boston and Massachusetts, whether it's our faith leadership, whether it's our city leadership and the mayor and our senator and Byron Rushing, we are so lucky. There are so many states, and we deal with organizations and folks all across the country. There are so many states in which there's not the same leadership. People are suffering even more, and so we take for granted sometimes who we have in front of us, both our leadership and the community that we bring our children up in. So again, thank you for all that you do for us, and parents and staff, thank you as well for all that you do every day on behalf of young children. This is a special day for me as well on many fronts. I grew up in the Catholic Church at St. Angela's Parish in Mattapan. I used to run the Head Start program at ABCD, my core start to ABCD, and I'm the mother of 3 young children, and I know how hard it is to raise children under any circumstances, but the circumstances under which many of the families and children that we serve are unbelievable, and they do such a tremendous job getting up every day, bringing their children here, working with our staff to make their lives and their futures hopeful. So I'd also like to thank, Yvette mentioned it, we thank the State Department of Early Education and Care who helps us put this licensing together and run the programs, but also at ABCD we do a lot of collaboration internally, and I'd like to thank John Wells and Peter Scalaro, who are our property folks, and they work tirelessly with Head Start every single day to get this up and running. So I want to thank them. I'll just close by saying that today I am thankful, again, that the budget moves on, that we have another day, and we have a few more Head Starts to open in the future. And so we continue to have hope and faith that that will continue with the leadership here. Have a blessed day and good morning.
There really isn't much more to say. I do want to acknowledge, I think I see Tony Richards from the governor's office. I want to thank you for coming, Tony. And we will now commence to have our ribbon cutting. To my left, your immediate right. So we will just...
Oh, you guys do it. You do it. I'm right here. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Well done.